Dear students, in today's lecture we will study infinite series. You have already studied AP and GP, the arithmetic progression and geometric progression. The sequence A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D is called AP, where A is the first term and D is the common difference. The nth term of AP is given by A plus n minus 1 into D, and sum of n terms is n by 2 into bracket 2A plus n minus 1 into D. In GP, the terms are A, AR square, AR cube and so on. The next term is obtained by multiplying previous term by common ratio. A is the first term and R is common ratio. The n term of GP is A into R raised to n minus 1, and sum of n terms is A into bracket R raised to n minus 1 upon R minus 1. Now we can define a sequence, series. AP and GP are the sequences. Now if you add the terms in sequence, you get a series. Just like this notation is sigma un, n is equal to 1 to infinity is u1 plus u2 plus u3 and so on. We are going to study the convergence. It is defined as the series is convergent if sequence of partial sums is convergent. Simple definition there. If Sn is the sequence of partial sums u1 plus u2 up to un, if this sum if this sequence is convergent, then you can say that the given series is also convergent. Thus, the series un is convergent if limit of Sn is finite. Obviously, you know that this sequence will be convergent if its limit is finite. Just like the examples, 2 plus 7 plus 12 plus 17, you can find sum of n terms, and if you find the limit as n tends to infinity, you are getting it infinity. Thus this series is divergent. In fact, all arithmetic series are divergent because we are adding something or subtracting something from the previous term, and if you go on adding that, the term will go to infinity. Now consider the geometric series 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16. This is geometric series with ratio 2 and first term is also 2. This is formula for Sn. This is the sum we are getting, a into 2 raised to n minus 1 upon 2 minus 1, and as n tends to infinity here, 2 raised to n tends to infinity, and so the Sn tends to also infinity. This series is divergent. In general, a geometric series is divergent if ratio is greater than 1. Now consider this geometric series 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. Here this is sum of n terms, and as n tends to infinity here, as this 1 by 2 is less than 1, raised to n tends to 0, and you get the sum as 32. The limit of that Sn is 32. This is a finite number, and so this series is convergent. In general, a geometric series is convergent if R is less than 1, if ratio is less than 1. So we have found convergence of two series, arithmetic and geometric. We have the formula to find sum of n terms in that case, but it's not always possible. We cannot get sum of n terms in for all series. So various tests of convergence are formulated. We'll study these tests one by one. This first test is nth term test. Very simple test to apply. The test says that a series is divergent if limit of un is not equal to 0. Limit of n term is not 0, series is divergent. Note that if limit is 0, you cannot decide its convergence. These are examples here. This first example, 1 plus 1 by n raised to n. If you take limit as n tends to infinity, you are getting it e, standard formula, which is not equal to 0. So this series is divergent. Limit of un is not equal to 0. So the given series is divergent. I repeat again, if limit is 0, you cannot decide the convergence of the series by this test. Next is integral test. If sigma un is given series, we will define some function fn is equal to un. If fn is positive and decreasing, we can apply this integral test. And the test says that if the series is convergent or divergent if the integral of fx dx n to infinity is finite or infinite. If integral is finite, series is convergent. Integral is infinite, series is divergent. These are a few examples you can try. This is one of them. 1 upon n log n. Define fn is 1 upon n log n. This function is continuous and decreasing in the interval 2 to infinity. So integration 1 upon x log x2 to infinity dx will be log of log x, limits are 2 to infinity, and putting upper limit we are getting an infinity minus lower limit 2 gives some finite value, so difference will be infinity. This integral is infinite, so the series is divergent. That's the integral test. Next one is a P series. This is useful in comparison test. Let us study what is P series. This is sigma 1 upon n raised to p. This is called P series. By integral test we can find its convergence, and we get the result that the series is convergent if p greater than 1 and divergent if p less than 1. If p equal to 1, again you can apply integral test directly for that, and we will find that the series is divergent. So finally you can say that P series is convergent if p greater than 1 and divergent if p less than or equal to 1. It's the important result, 1 upon n goes to p. These are few examples: 1 plus 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and so on, sigma 1 upon n. Here n is p is equal to 1, so this is a divergent series. 1 upon n square, p equal to 2, it's a convergent series. 1 upon root n, p equal to half, less than 1, so this is a divergent series. So the results of P series we can immediately. Okay, now next test of convergence is comparison test. Here we'll compare the two series. Suppose un is a given series, choose sigma vn whose convergence is known or can easily be found. If limit of un upon vn is finite, then the two series behave alike. This is the comparison test. The series Vn is a geometrical series or P series whose convergence can easily be found. Consider the example sigma nq plus n upon n raised to 6 plus nq plus 2. So this is the n term. Degree of numerator is 3, degree of denominator is 6, and we find the difference of the two degrees is minus 3. So I am taking Vn as 1 upon n cube for comparison, and we can easily get limit of un upon Vn as n tends to infinity is 1, which is finite, and so both the series un and vn will behave alike. But you can easily find sigma vn is a convergent series as it is a p series with p equal to 3 greater than 1. So given series is also convergent. So this is a comparison test. Choose a series for comparison. Condition is that the limit of un upon vn should be finite. Then the convergence of vn is already known to you by some simple test, and you can test the convergence of given series. Comparison test. This is ratio test. Here instead of taking another series for comparison, we will compare the two consecutive terms of the same series. Just like sigma un is the series, we will find limit of un plus 1 upon un as n tends to infinity. Suppose the limit is L. Then the series is convergent if limit less than 1, divergent if limit greater than 1, and this ratio test fails if L is equal to 1. Note that this ratio can be taken in the reciprocal form, just like un upon un plus 1, then these results will be reversed. Just like these are the examples you can try. I will solve this one example here. N square upon 3 raised to n. Un is n square upon 3 raised to n, and un plus 1 is n plus 1 square upon 3 raised to n plus 1. Just replace n by n plus 1. And if you find the ratio, you are getting un plus 1 upon un, 3 raised to n cancels, 3 remaining in the denominator. Here divide by n square, here you are getting 1 plus 1 by n raised to square, and as n tends to infinity, this term tends to 0, so limit will be 1 by 3, which is less than 1, so the series is convergent. So by ratio test, we found the limit of un plus 1 upon un and accordingly got the convergence of the series. This is one more example on ratio test. 1 by 4 plus 1 into 2 upon 4 into 7, 1, 2, 3 upon 4, 7, 10, and so on, up to 1, 2, 3 up to n, and 4, 7, 10 up to 3n plus 1. This is n term. Note that each term starts with 1 in the numerator and 4 in the denominator. So n term will also start with 1 end at n, and denominator will start with 4 and end at 4n plus 1. This is un plus 1. These terms are already there, plus one more term into n plus 1, and this will be n plus 4. These terms are added there. Obviously, if you find the ratio, only those two terms are remaining, and if you find the limit as n tends to infinity, we are getting limit 1 by 3, which is less than 1, and so this series is also convergent. Next is Rabi's test. This test is applied if ratio test fails. We have seen in ratio test there if limit is equal to 1, this ratio test fails. So in that case we will apply the Rabi's test here. To apply Rabi's test, we will find limit of un upon un plus 1 minus 1 into n as n tends to infinity. If this limit is greater than 1, series is convergent. Limit less than 1, series divergent, and this test again fails if limit is equal to 1. Consider this example: 1 plus 1 by 2, 1 into 3 upon 2 into 4, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. We also have similar example in ratio test. But if the difference between the two terms in numerator and denominator, just like 3 minus 1, or the numerator is AP with difference 2 and denominator is AP with again difference 2, when this happens, the ratio test will definitely fail. Just like this is un plus 1. If you find the ratio, only these last terms remaining, 2n plus 1 upon 2n plus 2. If you find the limit, that will be 1, so ratio test fails. Now apply Rabi's test and you get this limit un plus 2 upon un plus 1 minus 1 multiplied by n. If you take LCM and simplify, you are getting limit is half, which is less than 1, and so this series is divergent series. That's the Rabi's test. Now in Rabi's test again, if limit is 1, ratio test fails, Rabi's test fails. In that case we apply the Gauss test. So if ratio test and Rabi's test fails, we can apply Gauss test. In this case, the ratio un upon un plus 1 is expressed in this form: 1 plus L by n plus Bn upon n raised to p, where this p is greater than 1 and this Bn is bounded as n tends to infinity. Then the series converges if L greater than 1 and diverges if L is less than or equal to 1 here. So we don't have to go for another test here. This completes that sequence: ratio test, Rabi's test, and Gauss test. This is the example here: 1 square upon 2 square plus 1 square into 3 square upon 2 square into 4 square, and so on. As usual, this is n term. One more term here in un plus 1. The ratio will contain only these last terms. If you find the limit of un plus 1 upon un, limit is 1, ratio test fails. Apply Rabi's test. In this case again, the limit is 1. So this test also fails. So we'll try to apply now the Gauss test. Here the ratio un upon un plus 1 is this one. We'll try to express in that given form: 1 plus something. So to get 1, write the adjust the denominator in the numerator. We are getting 1 plus something. Now take 1 by n common, the remaining bracket. Now I want again adjust the denominator in the numerator here again, and we are getting 1 plus 1 by n plus 1 by n square into this term. Now this term is bounded, and L, this is L here, 1 by n, so L is equal to 1. So this Gauss test, by the Gauss test, this series is divergent. So expressed in the form 1 plus L by n plus 1 by n square into some bounded term. This is bounded as n tends to infinity, you get a finite value. So this term is bounded. You are getting 1 by n square outside, and this is L by n. So this L is required for us for the test. This L is 1. So by Gauss test, this series is divergent. Next one is Cauchy's condensation test. If function fn is positive for all positive integral values of n and continuously decrease as n increases, we can apply this test. The test says that this series is convergent or divergent according as this series: sigma 2 raised to n f of 2 raised to n. If this series is convergent, given series is convergent. If this is divergent, given series is divergent. That is Cauchy's condensation test. Just like this example, sigma log n upon n. We'll solve this example, but in general 1 upon n log n raised to p is called auxiliary series, which is convergent if p greater than 1 and divergent if p less than 1. This is auxiliary series that we can go for example of this log n upon n. Now sigma 2 raised to n f of 2 raised to n, you are getting 2 raised to n, and in this function replace n by 2 raised to n. Simplified form is sigma n log 2. This 2 raised to n cancel straight away. N log 2. Log 2 is constant, take it out. And you know that sigma n is a divergent series. So this series is divergent. So given series is also divergent. That is Cauchy's condensation test. This is now log test. Actually, this is alternative to Rabi's test. So if ratio test fails, we can apply log test. This series is convergent. The series is positive terms is convergent or divergent according as limit of this term n log of un upon un plus 1 greater than 1 or less than 1. So limit greater than 1 series is convergent, limit less than 1 series is divergent. As I told just now, this is alternative to Rabi's test. So apply after a ratio test fails. This is the example we solve now. X plus 2 square by x, 2 square x square by 2 factorial, 3 cube x cube by 3 factorial, and so on. The general term is n raised to n x raised to n upon n factorial. So this is un plus 1, the ratio un upon un plus 1, 1 upon 1 plus 1 by n raised to n into x, and if you find the limit of this, you know this is a standard formula, limit is e, so 1 upon ex is the limit. By ratio test, if limit less than 1, series is divergent. Note that I have taken the un upon un plus 1. So less than 1 divergent, greater than 1 convergent, and if the ratio test fails, if limit is 1. So if 1 upon e raised to x is 1, that is x equal to 1 by e, the ratio test fails. So now I am putting x equal to 1 by e here and applying the log test. So n into log of un upon un plus 1. In this ratio, replacing x by 1 by e, this limit I have to find by using properties of log. Simplify this. This log 1 plus 1 by n is expanded by using log of 1 plus x formula. Divide by n here, you are getting these terms. 1 minus 1 cancels and multiply by n inside the bracket. Now you are getting 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3n. And the limit of this as n tends to infinity is half, as this part, the remaining terms will tend to 0. So by log test, this series is divergent series as limit is less than 1. Okay, one more test now. Again simple test, Cauchy's nth root test. Remember first test was nth term test. We have directly find limit of n term. In Cauchy's nth root test, we will find limit of nth root of that un. And the test says that if limit of n term less than 1, series is convergent, and limit of nth root of the term is greater than 1, series is divergent. Obviously we will apply the test if it is possible to find nth root of un. So this is the series, this is un, and we can easily find its nth root, raised to 1 by n. Use 1 plus 1 by n raised to n, and limit of this is the standard form, limit is e, which is greater than 1. So given series is divergent as limit of nth root of the un is greater than 1, the series is divergent. With this now we have completed the test for positive series. Now we are going to study the alternating series. In alternating series, the terms are alternately positive negative. Just like this example, 1 by 2 minus 2 by 3 plus 3 by 4 minus 4 over 5 and so on. The n term will be summation minus 1 raised to n into n upon n plus 1. To test the convergence of alternating series, we will apply the Leibniz test. The test says that the series is convergent if modulus of un plus 1 less than mod un and limit of un is 0. As n tends to infinity, limit is 0. The meaning is obvious here. This means irrespective of the sign, the term should go on decreasing. Mod un plus 1 less than mod un and limit of un is equal to 0. If both the conditions are satisfied, the series will be convergent. Otherwise, the series is divergent. Just like this example, 1 minus half plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by minus 1 by 4 and so on. This is the n term, minus 1 raised to n minus 1 into 1 by n. This is another example here. This is alternating series. These are the alternating series. Now we'll discuss their convergence. Okay. Before going to those two examples, Understand this conditional and absolute convergence of alternating series. This is alternating series sigma un. Now if this series is convergent and its positive series sigma mod un is also convergent, then the given alternating series is said to be absolutely convergent. And if the alternating series is convergent but its positive series sigma mod un is divergent, then the given alternating series is said to be conditionally convergent. So both are convergent series, alternating series, but positive series is convergent, given series is absolutely convergent. And here the positive series is divergent, given series is conditionally convergent. Now go to the examples. 1 minus half plus 1 by 3. This first example, if you take modulus of un, you are getting it 1 by n. Obviously terms are decreasing, 1 upon n plus 1 less than 1 by n, and limit of mod un as n tends infinity is 0. So both these conditions are satisfied, so the given series is convergent. But remember, its positive series sigma 1 by n, it's a p series p equal to 1, which is a divergent series, so given series is conditionally convergent. This series is conditionally convergent. Now this example here, 1 minus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 3 square and so on, this is n term. If you find it modulus, you are getting it 1 by n square. Again terms are decreasing, 1 upon n square plus 1 less than 1 by n square, and limit of mod un is also 0. So both conditions are satisfied, so given alternating series is convergent. Also, if you consider this positive series sigma mod un, that is 1 by n square, this is also convergent series. As you know, it's p equal to 2 greater than 1. Thus we have the situation here, alternating series is convergent and its positive series is also convergent, so the given series, alternating series, is absolutely convergent. Now this is the example of divergent alternating series. This is the sequence series here, 1 by 2 minus 2 by 3 plus 3 by 4 and so on. This is un, mod un is n upon n plus 1, and if you find its limit as n tends to infinity, which is 1 not equal to 0, so this alternating series is divergent. Okay, so now applying all these tests, now you can study convergence of any infinite series. Thank you.